So here we have some drive shafts to run. You can see we have a spline at the end, then we have a reduced diameter, some thicker diameter again, a reduced diameter. This is 19, this is 25, this is also about 25. These are long enough to run through the feeder, and I'll explain in a moment how I set the feeder for right now, which is not a mode you should do in production. These here, about 11 inches long, are too short. They will fall out of the feeder before they hit the next feeder. For that, we would have to custom build something that can accommodate the short lengths. On the machine itself, even though we have major diameter 25 and the smaller diameter 19, I have set this machine to about 26, 27 millimeter, because otherwise, when we run it, it will not open far enough for the bigger diameter to go in. And this is because we are running Scotch-Brite here on the machine, and of course it's a thicker media which comes closer together in the center. We're gonna close this up. Sorry, I have a one-handed operation here. I'm gonna turn this on for a second. You can see how this hole actually gets. So if we go on the foot pedal, then you will see how this hole opens up. And we need to have enough opening for it to feed the tube in the end. So, yeah. So we're going to turn this off for a moment, and then I can close this again. You see, I'm the one-handed cameraman here, I'm sorry. Yeah, and then we're gonna run apart in a new cut. So this would be a single pass, and you see, of course, so first of all, it would be a single pass at about 6-7 feet per minute, so we can go slower. Obviously this is super cold, and you see we have a pretty good cleaning action here in the middle of the shaft compared, but here where you come through the edge, you're not going to get that, because the belt basically skips down and over it. It cannot go into that curve. And of course, we can try to make it a little bit tighter, but then, like I say, it won't open right. I will now increase the belt speed, and what we will do is we will decrease the feed rate to a bare minimum. So we're going to go very, very slow on the feed rate, and we are going to increase the belt speed from 40 to about 70%. I wouldn't go more on Scotch-Brite, because otherwise you are doing maybe a little bit too much grinding. So here is, you see also the spline where the Scotch-Brite went over. I only re-engaged the belt after we were off the spline at the very beginning. So this is the start. We can do that when we have a touch screen on the machine. We can program how far, and a photo eye, how far from the beginning we want to start and how far from the end we want to stop. So we can avoid the spleen pretty much completely. Here I would have to do that with the foot pedal as I want. First foot pedal to open the belt, you hear it quiet down. Then I'm going to feed this in here. It's taking it very, very slowly now. And I am watching in here. It's tough for you to see on the camera. Basically until it clears the spline. And then will not penetrate into that. Okay? So that is a comparison. So part number 1, you see it's a little bit darker. It has more spots here. Part number 2. So, and with part number 3, we simply are going to reverse it. We're going to go in and out. You can do that also with an auto machine, but it may not be opportune for your production process. So here we go. It's going in. The spline is going through. I'm gonna open my wheel again. So this is 2 passes basically. Right, I hit that spline a little bit at the end. I didn't disengage early enough. So I'm going to mark those parts 1, 2, and 3 as you are getting them back. These ones here, I'm just going to feed in by hand, but in essence, you're going to see the same thing that we've had there, right? I need to do that basically with making here on this machine a little bit. So now here's a demo how I did this by hand. For this, I turned the support. I turned the black plastic on it around so that I have the groove, which is good for your part because it's straight, it's not bent. It would work the other way. And we adjusted it on the groove side to 20 millimeters, a little bit less than that, which is basically between the 18 here and the 21 here. Okay? And then you just do that by hand, in and out, really quick, and you can control that you start behind the spline and you go to the middle, pull it back out, and you do the other side. So I'll show you real quick how that works. So you go on the foot pedal, make it large, and stick it all the way through. You can see here. You go back to the spline, and you go forward. A little bit more than half. And then we just do the other side. Can give it a little, see we don't have a lot here, we can give it a little bit more here. It's very sparkly material. So this is how you do this by hand. And now the last one, I'm going to run over the spline for you so you can see that too. You see how small the hole is here right now? So as I go on the pedal, it opens up. We're going to put the spline in here, there and there. So now we're grinding the spline through. And this is all not super pretty with all those diameter changes. So that's then what that spline looks like. We take a little bit off, but not too much. I don't think there's a material dimensional difference. And this may be way cleaner than what you need. And those are your samples at this point. So again, I repeat myself. This was one pass at about 6-7 feet per minute. This was one pass at about 3 to 4 feet per minute, and with a belt speed higher at 70%. This was forward and backwards, number 3, so 2 passes, like number 2. And then these we did by hand. I did this first as a trial, and then these 2 for the video. Thank you.